Okay, I'm just definitely going a little bit crazy with this. So I've just looked at Rita Ora's now and Charlie XC or AX. Um, Both of these two were ones that I never really focused on. I felt like Rita Ora had a part, and it was a big part, but I kept my head kept telling me not to watch her songs because she's a nice girl, and she, if I watch her songs, I will relate them to me, and I will think she's doing things behind my back, and I will sort of not like her because of it, and because some of the songs that I saw, I think I did see a couple of them, and they sounded good and they sound positive, and I don't want to hate people, and I feel like sometimes there's singers that I have to listen to because I need to find out what they're doing. Whereas with her, it was just like my head was just saying, just wait, don't bother finding out. If you find out that you'll know at a certain time, you just leave it at that. So I never really listened to any of her stuff, and then there's Charli XCX or whatever it is. I've started listening to her stuff just because I keep clicking on some songs. She's in a Rita song and she's in a Rina, that girl, Rina. See, I don't even know what her name is. Like that. I saw one of her videos, um, that you're going to hell or something, in Los Angeles, and I really like that song. And I think my favorite part though was where she said, "God hates us." All right then, and I was like, "Ah, yeah, I like that girl." Like she wasn't bothered the fact that God might hate her. And what else was? And then what's it? The other one, Iggy Azalea. I can't even say her name. Iggy should I not try? Iggy Azalea. I have heard a lot about her. I heard that a lot of people didn't like her very much, and she stopped. I did hate her for some reasons, but at the same time, I didn't want to hate her, so I just kind of like, she's not like me, she doesn't represent me. I'm not going to watch this and think that she represents me, and therefore I kind of just didn't really watch her stuff. So these were three people who I haven't watched or haven't. Um, and then I was trying to think like what kind of, if I have to choose like songs that are good. So if there's a song that I really really like, and if they've done more than three songs, I feel like I've been drawn to them for something. It's like there's loads of singers that have like a one hit wonder or whatever. I'm not too bothered about them. I think that's just all they're getting. But there are some singers who have like three or four songs that I really like, and you keep seeing other songs of them, and I feel like they have angel characters, and they need to have titles because I want as many people to be involved in this as possible. It's supposed to be like some sort of war that God is starting to be against people who would reject my knowledge. Now, okay, I feel like people aren't getting a fair chance right now. I'm meeting people all the time, and there was someone who I was so annoying. I was texting him yesterday, and I spent about half an hour, maybe an hour, just texting him, giving him all the reasons why I'm God. He said he's a Bible scholar, and then this morning he said, "Why do you think you're pretty? You're so ugly." And I don't know, something along. And then he said, "Do you think you're going to marry the lamb at the end of the year?" or something like that. I'm like, "No, I'm so angry I can't talk. I don't want to marry a fucking lamb." And it's just like, I just wanted to strangle him. I really did. I said so much that was intelligent, and occasionally he would give the odd response that was like, "Oh, that actually sounds intelligent. Oh, you're asking about the 12 tribes of Judah. Okay, well, that's something that someone who studied the Bible would know. Well, I think it's this." And I don't know. It's just so fucking. Then to give me something ridiculous. Oh, and I said that I don't get on with my mum. It's like, "Oh, do you think you'll get on with her when you grow up?" It's like, that's an alarm bell. If you've just told me to fucking grow up, I'm God. I'm the fucking oldest thing here. Do not tell me to grow up. So I'm so pissed off, and it really does bring out an anger in me just thinking about that guy, and thinking about that rage kind of makes me want to go to war. And then when I come up with these characters, it's kind of like, well, what? I feel like I click on songs that relate to things that have happened in the last few days. And in the last few days, I've been talking about choice, how, instead of talking about death, I don't want to talk about it as death. I want to talk about it as people's choice, because saying things that, "Oh, you're going to go and kill yourself," or "You're going to go commit suicide," it's not nice wordings. But if I say it's a person's choice to kill themselves, suddenly it sounds so much better. And so yeah, I've been when I don't know, I just randomly decided to click on Rita's songs and this Charlie girls, and the two things that have been kind of on my mind in the last few days have been how much I want to go to war with people, and how much. And then so I just kind of thinking, well, that makes sense to put these names. I don't know if you've thought about it. Maybe you were told about these angels representing this and you've already done it, but and you did all these things knowing what the titles were going to be. I don't think that's the case. I really don't. But it'd be annoying if that was the case, though, because that would kind of like undermine what I'm going through. But yeah, yeah. So I think that's what Charlie represents. Charlie is the name of a boy who was born a couple of minutes after me, and I feel like a lot of people would worship males over me, and because he was born like a few minutes after in the same hotel, in the same hospital, in the same room, I think there was a few women, and she was just, and we went to the same nursery for 3 years, and we had our third birthday party together, and we looked very much like Adam and Eve, and I'm choking on this apple that I've just bitten into during that. There's a video clip of me doing that. But yeah, that's who the name of Charlie is, and how I represent how she can link to me through this name, the name of a boy who was born at the same time as me, looked identical to me, only a boy version. And I feel like that's, a lot. I'm at war with kind of people thinking that God is a man, and so I feel like even though I'm not at war with Charlie, I'm at war with people who are worshipping something similar to me, only male. And so yeah, but I think she represents God's war, because there's some good songs, but there's also some angry ones. I'm sure I've seen that one where she's dancing on the grave. I've completely forgotten about it now, but I'm sure I have seen that at some point, and I think I love that. Or maybe, I don't even know if I have seen that one before, to be honest. I don't even know if I have, because I might have been confusing it with the one that Iggy Azalea, she's standing on a grave, but there's quite a few of them that stood on graves and stuff. So I don't even know if I have seen that one. I don't think I have seen that one, actually. I've seen it now, but I feel like I have seen it, but maybe on a different timeline. So yeah, that's how bad it is, because I like how she did that. But yeah, so I think that's what she represents. You could say it's the modern age, but really I don't think it is the modern age. I think it's going to be the modern age for the next 7 years. Because suicide is not a positive thing, and people shouldn't be encouraged to be suicidal. If you're going through a bad time, you'll probably get over it and it'll be fine. But with the world being in the state that it is, I feel like the only way to save it is if there's a lot less people here. As an example, I feel like whatever happened in Japan with these sex things that I don't know, they got women to just have sex with all the different guys, and I think they'll probably sign partners. I'm hoping that there was some sort of niceness to it, but yeah, I would have taken all the guys who agreed to do something like that and probably rebirth them into North Korea, and then after, if they were good, probably rebirth them in South Korea and put a whole bunch of other rapists in there or whatever. That's the sort of thing that I do. If you treat your people like crap, I'm going to make sure that the people that are being born in that country are the worst souls, and then you'd move them on to somewhere else if they don't deserve that. But the problem is, there is a difference between someone who's agreed to have a sex a couple there's probably a difference between someone who's raped someone twice or 3 or 4 times versus someone who's raped someone like loads and loads of times. And if you've got millions of people to manage, sometimes I don't think it's me who's doing it. I'm thinking it's the Holy Spirit. But at the same time, sometimes there's so many people on bad, different scaled levels that it's hard for the matrix to properly judge people when there's that many people. And sometimes I think that there might be like a bracket. If you've raped someone this too many times, then you should go into that. Whereas I think if there was less people, it would be a bit more accurate. Computers are complicated, and I'm sure there is some really complex tests to try and judge people and work out what's best for them in their next life. But mistakes are made. Definitely mistakes are made, and that's more likely to happen when there's just so many problems that the computer is getting just loaded up with all the details about people's pasts and how bad or not less bad it is. I don't know, but I just so those are two characters that I've just this formed now, and yeah, I need to write it up actually. I think I need to write it up in a way where I have their good name and their bad name and go through them all. I still like the idea of them being in partners. You know, God and the devil go well together, and you know, positive side of me and the negative side, yes, but Brittany is not my positive side. She's over slutty and she's now insane. So it's just like, what's going on there? That's definitely not my positive side, and I feel like I feel even stupid to say to people that she's my positive side because I don't think I can do it. I can, though, however, say that she's God's representation, and Hilary Duff, another character who I've literally not heard one. I don't think I've heard her songs once during this whole tribulation, and or if I have, I've forgotten. But I haven't like paid attention, or I haven't mentioned or talked about her. I don't. I'm pretty sure I haven't. And it's only just in that Yesterday song. I really love that Yesterday song, and I think when songs stick on your mind, that's when you know that you really like that artist. And yeah, that Yesterday song just stuck on my mind. It's kind of like the Shakira "Don't You Worry" song, because it's always, you know, it makes you feel like you shouldn't worry. The problem is the Shakira doesn't actually represent me. Shakira represents, I think, well, angels from angels of another language, or I think that's also a bit of an understatement because there's quite a lot of angels that have a different language. You know, I've noticed that Jennifer Lopez has done loads, and there's even and Christina. So to call her that would kind of be saying like the others don't have another language. So I had to give her a kind of a new name, which, you know, I kind of remember her dancing around with a flag and trying to bring nations together. She's got one like that. So yeah, Angel of the United Nations just seemed fitting. Plus, she was from another nation and had the language. So yeah, I've kind of changed her name a bit to something that doesn't is less of the other, less linked to the other ones. But yeah, it is driving me a little bit mad though, because yeah, there's so many of these singers that I really haven't been paying attention to because I didn't want to hate them, and now I'm suddenly feeling like my list of angels is just getting there's a lot of them, but then there's a lot of people in the world, and I think people would like these angels because, you know, they might not necessarily be able to be like me anytime soon, but they could be like these singers. Whether they want to be like those singers is another question, but we'll put that question to their test, I think.